On today's video, week 3 of Future State and 2 different ways to listen to it. Stay tuned. Hello, Comic Pros and Comic Joes. I am Brett the Comic Novice here, coming to you live from my Comic Corner. And in this video, I am going to be going over week 3 of Future State, the first month of week 3 of Future State. Lucky thing, there's only one more after this. Anyway, and also to talk about give you 2 different listens to 2 different microphones. This guy, the T.Bone SC 400 that I did a unboxing and video. It's a silly video, but because I found that more people have actually watched that video than I actually anticipated, I thought it was just going to be a fun thing for me and my friends to watch. But it's got a little bit more traction than that, so I decided to do an actual comparison with my comic YouTube channel. And I'm going to compare it to this guy, the RODE NT1, and give you a chance to listen to it. Now, I have listened to it. I've taken the serious steps that I didn't do in the actual authentic review and unboxing. And I will tell you, there is a difference. I can hear it. But $50, $270. With that kind of price tag, maybe not too bad. All right, so going into Future State, before I even get to Future State, I am going to talk about the books that were non-Future State, which is Batman Catwoman issue number 2. Now, from the previous video, I had made mention that I did not plan on picking up Batman Catwoman. I didn't read the first one. I'm kind of burned out on Tom King stuff, so I was going to pass on it. It got snuck into my pile, and because I now own it, I read it. The art is fantastic by Clayman. The story, you didn't really need issue number 1 kind of to figure it out. There's 3 different timelines. There's the past, present, and future revolving around Catwoman, Batman, and the Joker. In the future, Batman is dead. In the present, he's not. And then in the past, Selina Kyle is probably mischievous and her criminal self. It's a good story. At the very end, it leaves you with possibly old Selina Kyle killing the Joker. Sorry if that's a spoiler, but you know what? It's a good story. Will I pick up book 3? Absolutely not. It's fine, but it's a Black Label book. It's an Elseworld type thing, and I don't care. Next, DCeased Dead Planet, issue number 4. Now, I've made mention previously revolving around DCeased, and I will tell you, I enjoyed this book. There is still more story to tell. In one of the previous volumes, I think 6 or 5, they set up a undead dark side coming back to life. We have not, and then he attacked the new gods on that planet, and so there is still more story to tell. You have Superman, the Clark Kent Superman. He is in the sun, basically absorbing all the power to try to kill it. But at least we have a happy ending momentarily. I honestly hope that we have taken a pause on DCeased. It's a good story. I know lots of people really like it. Tom Taylor has done good. He currently is going to be on the new Nightwing ongoing series and a 6-part Batman that I'm probably going to pass on just because, you know what, need to draw the line somewhere. So with that, I liked it. I love that there was some closure and not a to be continued, but at the same time, we've got DCeased, we've got DCeased Unkillables, and now we have DCeased Dead Planet. Let's just kind of pause this universe for a second and let it breathe, in my opinion. Maybe come back in a year, and maybe I'll be ready for it. But if we come back in a couple months, I'll just wait for the trade. So now to the Future State. And for the first time, we have a book 2. The next Batman, book 2, this one was supposed to be the reveal of who the next Batman is. Just Jace Fox, but I can't remember what his actual name is. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, revolving around Jace Fox, it was a really fun story. I've heard some reviews were kind of annoyed that they changed the artist from Nick Darrington to let's see, Laura Braga. I really don't care. it was a very compelling story. It was very interesting. We're in future Gotham. I will tell you, and again, and here is where I'm kind of understanding future state to some extent, and I don't know what convergence really is. I've heard some complaints about it, and it wasn't that good. It was a pause that a lot of people just kind of took, and future state has been surprisingly enjoyable, and I will tell you, I have been very pleased so far from what I've read with future state. However, there are certain stories that I just don't care about, and this one has two different backup stories. We have Batgirls and Gotham City Sirens. The second story was the Batgirls one, and I'm kind of intrigued by it. The Gotham City Sirens, I got a couple pages in and decided I didn't care. And I will tell you, revolving around future state, that is a common theme that I have found for myself. Either it is great and I'm all in, or I don't care and it disinterests me. I love the next Batman story. I can't wait to find out what's going to go on with this. The Magistrate, I love the Dark Detective that just barely came out for the issue number 2 this week for New Comic Book Day. This is fantastic. But there are certain things that it's making me not want to pursue in the future. And that's sad because I do love DC. And that thing kind of is highlighted right here in Superman Worlds of War. And you have this story where basically Clark Kent, Superman, is off planet and presumed dead by most people. Now, Smallville is some sort of holy place that people go to kind of commune. Superman has now become a religion, and people are wondering where he is, what his actual origin is. Could he have been evil? Is there more people? Who saves who? Is it Superman? Is it Clark Kent? Are they both aliens and they're both playing a fake part? It's kind of an interesting story revolving around that, but at the same time, I was promised this right here on the cover, and I did not get this right here on the cover. I got 2 pages of that on the cover, and I was really hoping, and I heard that some people said, oh, it's just going to be another Planet Hulk. Okay, I don't know what that means. So I don't care if it is another Planet Hulk, because to me, it would be Superman, Worlds of War, and the cover looks great, and the story just was not. Then there is 2 backups in here, Clark Kent, Midnighter, Black Racer, and then a Mr. Miracle story. I guess the Mr. Miracle story takes place shortly after the Metro. I did not care for that. And then the next one, which is the Midnighter story, I didn't care for that either. This book cost $7.99, and it was $7.99 of utter disappointment. I'm waiting. It's going to be one of those things where I'm trying to figure out, again, I finally figured out Future State, and I'll tell you my synopsis at the very end. But do I want $7.99 for 2 more stories next month that are underwhelming, as well as Superman World of War maybe? Or continuing on with Smallville as the holy destination, whatever, I don't care. Nightwing, this I was worried about because they've set up Nightwing to be kind of an unlikable character. And, especially in the Teen Titans book where he's kind of hard, it looks like he's almost adopted the Deathstroke look to some extent. And he's just not a happy person anymore. And so I was worried that that's what this is going to be like. This one, Nightwing, it gets teamed up with the next Batman. And it is beautiful. They have a fight. They have interaction. I really love it. It leaves on a great cliffhanger. I'm actually looking forward to the second book. This is fun. This was absolutely fun. The art was great. The story was compelling. And there was only one story. It was $3.99. It was great. And I think that's another strict stickler that I've noticed many reviewers for Future State have come. $3.99 for a subpar story is more acceptable than $7.99 for a good story with, maybe the next Batman and a couple of blah other stuff. Next, the Immortal Wonder Woman. This is not Nubia. This is Princess Diana. There is a backup story with not Nubia, sorry, Yara Flora. This is Princess Diana, and then there's a backup story with Nubia, the Black Wonder Woman. And I will tell you, and here is this book right here was the nail in the coffin for how I figured out Future State, because this takes place way in the future yet to come. And not that many people on Earth are alive. And Themyscira is basically, they're trying to retreat. There's this darkness that's coming or whatever. If it takes place well beyond the Legion of Superheroes, which is a book I did not pick up this week because the art is horrible, in my opinion, then why do I care? Because this not only is way in the far, far future, but will it actually ever come to pass? And that's where I don't care. The Nubia, there was some killer action scenes at the very beginning, some great art, but then it was just a lot of talking, and I just got bored by it. And this one is now the second book that I will officially drop because I don't have any interest in finding out about Princess Diana's Wonder Woman fighting perhaps Darkseid in the way distant future that might never ever happen. And with Future State, will any of these actually happen? Will the next Batman happen? It could, but there's a chance that this is, again, what I have made mention many times, and at the very beginning of these, each one of these, it says, the multiverse has been saved from the brink of destruction. With the victory comes the new possibilities as the triumph of our heroes shakes loose the very fabric of time and space. From the ashes of death metal comes a new life for the multiverse and a glimpse into the unwritten worlds of tomorrow. It's unwritten. So this could happen, or this could just be a what-if scenario. And if it's a what-if scenario, why am I paying $7.99 for what if? I know Jeff Thorne on Comic Perch's YouTube channel did a great job of selling me on Future State and gives me intrigue and a hope for that this thing that he's doing in Green Lantern will eventually pay off. But what are the likeliness of this paying off right here? What are the likeliness of this story paying off right here? I think little to none. And that's why this one is hanging in the balance of, like, for the price, $7.99, I could buy 2 comics that I actually do want in the coming months, or just save that for a rainy day or something like that, or something from the bargain bin or the old thing. Now, another one that I actually did like is the Shazam. The art to me, and I've heard that, this is, DC, what is it? Just run-of-the-mill you know what? If this is DC standard run-of-the-mill art, I love DC standard run-of-the-mill art, and maybe that's why I've gravitated more to DC than house style. There we go. If this is DC house style, I will take DC house style over X-Men house style because, or Marvel house style, because I just there is something about X-Men or the Marvel stuff that I just don't care for. And I do care for, I guess, the house style of DC. And I'm perfectly fine with this. This is a fun story because you have Shazam not acting like Shazam. He constantly says, I'm not Billy. He does this. And then there's a murder that occurs. And we find out later that Shazam has murdered. Now, I'm really kind of intrigued by the cliffhanger at the very end because we see Billy Batson basically pulled up at the gates of hell or something like that to hold back something that Shazam couldn't do. And it's very intriguing. Will we get a payoff for that? Or, again, will this just be one of those things that it's a fun story? It's not actually going to happen. We have no intention of this ever happening because first off, I guess you'd have to have an ongoing Shazam book for it to continue to happen. And currently we don't. And, there's lots of people that are irked by it. Now, for New Comic Book Day, for this week, week 4. Oh, wait, before I get to that. So, just to review, I am all out on the Justice League, the new or next Justice League or whatever. They are unlikable. Immortal Wonder Woman. It's a story that I don't think will ever get a payoff. So why am I going to pursue it? I'm dropping that. With the Superman War Worlds, I'm on the fence with it because of the price and because of the lack of promise of Superman Worlds of War. Or War of Worlds, whatever the title is. Anyway, I am very kind of revolving around that. And so again, with that, I've figured out Future State. It is possibly fun stories that could be fun, but will never have a payoff. And you know what? As long as I'm entertained, I don't care if they ever have a payoff, but I need to be entertained. And Immortal Wonder Woman did not do it for me. The Justice League, who I love, have unlikable Justice League members. And for that, I'm done. And, it makes it easier that it's a little bit more expensive and it's tied to Justice League Dark, which I don't care for. So that makes it that much easier. This week, I didn't pick up many books this week. And I will tell you, I'm partially kind of annoyed with some of the books that I did get. My comic book shop, and they had Swamp Thing. This is from week 1. I have not yet read it, but somebody, I guess, decided to, because my comic book shop has been all out, and so I picked that up. So I'm going to read that. This one, there was a snafu at my comic book store, and all of my holds were not held, and all the ones I didn't want were held for me. And I don't know why I picked this up. Part of me was just furious with my LCS. I picked it up. I'm not expecting anything big from this. So there's that. I have Batman Superman, which I'm kind of intrigued by because this is the ongoing writer for the Batman Superman once everything goes back to normal in March. So I'm kind of curious how well that's going to be. Suicide Squad, I'm kind of intrigued by because this is a new Suicide Squad. And, they're getting ready to do an HBO Max movie featuring one of the guys. I'm not 100% sure because he's new. I had to go to, I hated this, all sold out on Things from Another World. My comic book store did not hold it for me, all sold out there. So I went to my comic store, the other comic store that's local to me, that I absolutely hate and detest because the people there are just massive dicks. And, they also hate DC stuff, so they don't promote it at all. So I was easily able to get this and a couple other things that have been sold out for, other places forever because probably because they're not enjoyable people, and also that. Aquaman. Now, I'm intrigued because I've heard good things. This cover does not say, read me. This cover says, we're just going to have fun with a preteen aqua girl or something like that. Dark Detective. I will say, with my local LCS, for not getting anything that I asked for, I guess they had a couple stowed away for probably selling on eBay or something like that for a higher price. And they had decent enough to sell me one. So there's that. So that's what I'm going to be reading next week. I will not be reading Legion of Superheroes because the art is blah and I have no interest in it. And then I have to juggle in the future. What am I going to do? Will I pick up Harley Quinn at all? I've heard good things about it, but it just doesn't seem to be my thing. Swamp Thing. I've read some of the new 52 stuff. I've heard good things about that Swamp Thing. Will I pick up issue number 2? I now know where all the issue number 1s and a couple of the issue number 2s are going to be. So now I need to figure out what I want and what I care about because, again, like I said in the synopsis, I finally figured it out. And will I buy something because the storyline's enjoyable and there will never be a payoff for it? Is that okay? Will I will the storyline that never gets paid off bother me to the point where I don't want to support it anymore? And that's where I'm at with Future State. And I think that's where a lot of people are at with Future State too. So it's going to be interesting to find out who's reviewing what in the near future, because now we know, after sampling most all of the first issues, where Future State is. So what are your thoughts revolving around week 3 of Future State, as well as going forward? Also, what do you think about the comparison of the mics? I've looped this twice. The first one was one of the mics. The second time I played the whole thing, it was the other mic. What did you think about the sounds of these mics compared to each other? A $50 mic plus $30 for shipping, a $279 mic. Thoughts? Comment down below. Please subscribe. Please like. I'd love to get your feedback. Please share your thoughts revolving around New Comic Book Day with the, I almost said Legion of Superheroes, with regarding Future State. Yeah. Thank you for watching, and until next time.